Okay, well, welcome in everyone. I'm always enjoy being here. My name is Ben Kaiholtz. I work with the Blue Star Resort and Golf Team. We are Trilogy's hospitality partner. So we work in the communities across the country to try to make sure that the lifestyle is all the things people get excited about. And I'm really excited to say that we do a really good job of that. So I've been worked with or for the Shea family since 2001. So basically my entire career, I've been really blessed in that way. And I'm always excited to share our story with people who are considering the community because I've had the opportunity to just see how important a decision people find it to be in their lives. So I'm glad you're considering us. I'm looking forward to sharing a bit today about certain aspects of Trilogy. Specifically, this time we're going to talk about our food and beverage experiences in our Barrel Masters wine program. So again, my name is Ben. I'm also joined today from one of our local leaders in the field from Trilogy at Lake Norman, just north of Charlotte, North Carolina, in Denver, North Carolina, and that is Dan Ginley. Dan's our club general manager of the Twin Mills Club, which is the club that sits at the centerpiece of our Trilogy Lake Norman community. Dan and I have had a long personal relationship, and he has been with our group since that community began. And I'm probably going to mess up the year, but probably 2015, 2016-ish. And is one of our strongest general managers. We're excited to have him on. So I'll introduce Dan as we get into the Barrel Masters portion of the programming. For now, I'll be your leader through the food and beverage aspects. Switch here. For those of you who are on the call as attendees, if you have any questions within your Zoom menu bar, there should be a little button called Q&A. If you have any questions, you can click into that and ask them in that forum. I'm joined by a couple of my colleagues here who are monitoring the question and answer area. So if you have anything to add or ask, please just do that. And if it makes sense, we'll either weave it into the content at the beginning or make sure we cover it at the end. So please encourage people to do that. Well, without further ado, we have about 30 minutes of content. We want to leave plenty of time for people to ask questions. So I'm going to dive right into the first element of what we're talking about today, which is the food and beverage experiences that we try to create within the Trilogy communities. And there's this great quote that we've always kind of used in our world, which you can't think well, love well, sleep well if you have not dined well. There's this real belief that we have around the sanctity of kind of breaking bread together, and this way that people celebrate holidays and the way they celebrate family and friends and the way they get to know each other, and the way that you build bonds is often around food. And that's how I think we've gone from a group where, if you look at some of our earlier clubhouse experiences, we might have a relatively small restaurant component, to now where you're seeing, really a lot of our clubs have restaurants at the heart of them. And I think that's born mostly of a desire, or maybe a recognition of the fact that, what really helps people come together is that dining experience among either friends you have or friends you're making. So how we do it is actually a pretty specific recipe. We think of, if you were to kind of break down the restaurant business into its core components, basically you want to deliver delicious food quickly from friendly people in fun environments, which sounds easy, but is not as easy as it sounds, as you all probably know. There's just a lot of elements that go into that, and it really requires quite a bit of stagecraft to ensure that, particularly most of our restaurants are open, if not 360 days a year, certainly 52 weeks a year, and most 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week, kind of every night is opening night. So you've got to be aware of that and ensure that you have hired great people and that they have the training and the opportunity to learn so they can continue to get better and better and better. We've been blessed and always have focused on hiring incredible chefs when we start our communities, and their kind of individual knowledge combined with the forums we provide for them to meet with one another, share recipes, share best practices, we think has been really helpful in us creating some really amazing restaurant experiences. Um, and it starts in the restaurants, and so we'll spend a little time kind of talking about, a vast majority of our communities have full service dining as a centerpiece. And we have restaurants across the country. I've kind of collection here. We're now, oh geez, we've got almost 20 full service restaurants within the Trilogy portfolio, from kind of on the East Coast. We have Regions 117 at Trilogy Lake Frederick. We have the Foundry at Trilogy Lake Norman. We have the Grill at Trilogy Orlando. To out west, we've got Needle Rock at one of our communities here in Phoenix, Verde River. We've got Bistro 1528 down at Encanterra. They're each their distinct brands, but they do share a lot of common characteristics. As a complement to our restaurant experiences, we also have culinary studios. So culinary studios are a great expansion of that food and beverage experience, where we have via chef demonstrations, or we have partners or providers come in and do educational sessions, or interactive dinners. We have an opportunity for people who want to not just kind of utilize food as a way to socialize and be around friends and family, but want to really learn more about it. We have these amazing culinary studio experiences. And I'm showing these photos here. It's, obviously we also have the version of that is 2020 friendly, where we're using those same spaces to continue to connect people via virtual classes. You can see even down here in the bottom right-hand corner where we've been able to convert one of our culinary studios into basically like a television station. So they broadcast over the course of this past year, been doing the same kind of programming, educational around food and wine, in a virtual capacity. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second as well. We also have, as you can imagine, just in too many to count, food-driven events. So we obviously have like a happy hour that takes place, one of our very common rituals around the clubs. But we have, you can see winemaker dinners down below, chef's dinners. We have the interactive cooking classes. We've got, it's a little different these days, but generally speaking, parties around each of the major holidays, and we kind of invent some holidays along the way. So, I guess if you're kind of thinking with the end in mind, what we're really trying to do as we create either our events or our programming or our restaurant experiences or our culinary studio educational classes, what we really want to do is provide an opportunity where people can learn more, enjoy the experience, and meet and be around others. So we've found that, as we ask people, what they have taken most from their experience in the communities, generally it's, well, I had an opportunity to make a number of new friends that I might not have made otherwise. A lot of those friendships, if not started in our restaurants, are certainly forged stronger in those experiences. So we're really pleased to play a role there, and the commitment we've made over the course of time to really view the food and beverage experience as a differentiator, something we need to invest more in and really focus on staying innovative, I think has paid a lot of dividends in the way the members experience our communities. I think they genuinely take more out of living there because of the efforts we've put into trying to create these great dining experiences. We've always tried to make sure that we remember that our members use our communities in a lot of different ways. And I think one of the things that we see comes up is that there is this place that we hold to be the kind of neighborhood restaurant experience, this environment that's highly reliable and just your favorite place to go. but you are living there and you're there frequently, and you do want to make sure there's differentiation within the experience, right? So there is a certain value to the reliability of your favorite place to go eat, but you do also want change. So the way we kind of create that change, one is in the design of the restaurants, as we, have outdoor spaces, indoor spaces, quiet areas, areas that are louder, some areas with television, some that don't have television, soft seating, hard seating, et cetera, kind of the ways we can architect that experience. And then from a programming standpoint, we have these annual traditions that we use to kind of, it's going to be terrible, pardon the pun, but kind of spice up the offerings that we have. So twice a week, we do what we call Restaurant Week, and that's Restaurant Weeks are our opportunities for our chefs to really flex their culinary muscle. So generally speaking, our restaurants offer all-day menus that have a variety of kind of like chef's features and sandwiches and salads and starters, and something that's going to reach a broad range of palates, including healthier food, more comfort-based food, seafood. Obviously, we're going to have beef, chicken, pork, veggie, all represented on our menus on an ongoing basis. But our restaurant weeks provide an opportunity for our chefs to really kind of showcase their culinary skill. Generally speaking, we do these once in the spring and then once again in the fall. It's either a prefixed menu at the restaurants where we do wine pairings with each course, or we have a special set of elevated chef's features that people can explore. In addition to that, we have a lot of vinophiles, which we will talk about when I pass it on to my partner Dan in Lake Norman. We have our restaurant, we have our wine weeks. So we have a summer wine week and a winter wine week. So you can get your Chardonnays and your Rosés in June and July, and your heartier Cabernet in December, where we do a combination of usually wine showcases at each of the communities, as well as special features on our menus within the clubs. We do craft beer week. We do one of these in the spring and one of these in the fall. Usually the fall one is in October for Oktoberfest, where we work with our providers to help select some great maybe craft beers that you haven't experienced before, and give these small brewers a chance to showcase what they can provide. This year, a new addition was our takeout restaurant week, where we did our chef-inspired meals, but we were able to put them in a way that people could come and pick them up and enjoy them at their own homes. So that was in April. So most of our communities are back to a spot where we'll be able to do our restaurant. We're doing a restaurant week. Just finished it last week. A majority of our locations were able to do that on site in the clubs. And it would be hard to do a presentation like this in 2020 without talking about the ways we've kind of adjusted to make sure members still have a great experience this year. So, there's obviously been a real focus on outdoor dining. Those of you who have visited the communities already, you've likely seen, everything from kind of furniture reconfiguration to kind of wholly new setups to allow for us to have socially distanced outdoor dining available for our members. You can see here up on the top, I believe that's our community, one of our communities in Arizona. That's in Cantera. In the bottom right-hand corner, that's one of our communities in Southern California at Polo Club, where we've created these outdoor spaces so we can still offer great restaurant experiences. Curbside, this is actually one of our Southern California locations, where every single one of our communities now offers both by phone and online curbside takeout options. So our members can just go on to the member website, mytrilogylife.com, click into their restaurant, select order online, and just like you would at Panera Bread or anywhere else, you can save your orders, you can order whatever you like, you can do all the modifications you'd want to do, and then you just drive up and our team comes out and delivers it right to you. We've done all kinds of specialty dinners. So you can see here, these are some of my favorites, and Dan's going to talk about a couple of these in the Barrel Masters portion of this, but you know, we obviously have meals to go, and we've done things like, okay, well, the chef's going to feature this, and we're all going to enjoy it together on Saturday night. So come by the club, pick up your food, pick up your wine pairings, and it'll all go together, and we'll get on a virtual platform, our Club Connect platform, and we will learn the education about why we're pairing the wines with the food during the meal. I think, you know, I always get cautious here because the team tells me I go too long every time. So I'm going to try not to do that, but I get really kind of excited about this. And I love walking into our restaurants and seeing people enjoy them in the way that we were hoping they would. So my number one encouragement to people here would be to come and visit one of our restaurants and see for yourself how we do what we say we do. It'll be a great chance to see some other members enjoying their club. And I think it's a great way for you to kind of get a little taste of, God, another terrible pun, a little taste of the community in advance. So if you're interested in doing that, you can go to mytrilogylife.com anytime, and you can select the community you're interested in. That'll give you a sense of their restaurant, and you can, most of them have online reservations available. We do have a collection of food and beverage films that are available at the Trilogy by Shea Holmes YouTube channel. And then I'd encourage people just to go on to Open Table. I mean, I've got a sample here. You know, here's where this is. I'm going to pick on Dan, one of Dan's clubs. You can see that this is from the Foundry at Trilogy Lake Norman. You know, we've had 490 reviews. We have a 4.7 average. You can see photos people have taken of the experience. You can see our menu, and you can see what people are saying about us. I love to see this. Great place. Loved our server, Zach. Food was delicious. Always great food and friendly service. So I would encourage you to explore more in that way as well. So I'm certain I probably left out a million fun details that I would love to share, but I'm hoping what you take away is that, you know, our commitment to creating an incredible food and beverage and restaurant experience is more than just surface level. You know, we've hired team members that come from some of the most well-known brands within the hospitality industry to create these experiences, and we think that it really does create a differentiation within the space. So the other communities just don't seem to have the rich depth of food and beverage experience we're able to provide within Trilogy. So we're excited to do that. And one of the ways that I know that we do this differently, and I'm very excited to share, is via what we call our Barrel Masters program. So Barrel Masters is our proprietary wine program available exclusively to Trilogy members. And to help explain that more, I'm going to introduce my partner, Dan Ginley, who I see on my little panelist thing. And I want to make sure, Dan, are you out there?
I'm out there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Dan. I can hear you. So, and I think, is there a way to make me see you? How do we do that?
If not, I'm sure I've been told I have a face for the radio, so maybe if the video doesn't work, this works just as well.
Well, you sound great, Dan. And you know what? Just everyone in your mind, just picture this kind of Brad Pitt meets Chris Pine gentleman with a ton of wine expertise, and you'll have Dan Ginley. So, okay, Dan. Well, I'm gonna, just so I'm not distracting, I'm gonna turn my video off, and I'm gonna pass it to you. And I'm excited to have you share on the Barrel Masters information, and I'm gonna follow your leads on changing the slides. Okay.
Okay, that sounds cool. All right. Well, the Barrel Masters program is something that's really near and dear to my heart. We've done a lot of different clubs have like wine clubs and things of that nature, but we have taken what is ordinary at many other places to an extraordinary level. And we've done this through education, exploration, and celebration of wine culture. It's really all of that stuff that comes together. And what really gives it the spice is the social aspect of it. It's become something that is a lot of fun. People can meet each other and build friendships over wine and food and all that great stuff. So it's really a fantastic experience. We can go on ahead.
Oh, thank you, Dan. Yep.
You know, there's a lot of details into the Barrel Masters program, and I won't get real down deep into them all there because there's so many great ones that are involved, and like preferred pricing and excellent wine pairing meals, specialty dinners that span the globe. There's a lot of great ones that we've done out there, from sip and learns, which are your way of exploring new brands. All sorts of different things are out there. There's a lot of ways that we show wine to you. We have experts on staff, people that are sommeliers and can curate a list for you and really get you into some new things that you might not have had. And at most places, you can keep your wine right there in our wine lockers at the clubs. Next slide, please. But me telling you about it is probably not the way you're going to learn the best things about it. I think that hearing the stories from an actual member that is using the program to the fullest. So I've asked Mary Lou, a Trilogy homeowner here at Lake Norman, to talk a little bit about this. Mary Lou, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Well, Mary Lou, would you mind introducing yourself? Tell us, how long you've been in the community and what brought you here, that sort of thing.
All right, be glad to. I moved in, I think June of 2018. I came here to the Denver, North Carolina area because my son and his wife and my 2 grandchildren lived here. And so it was just the right time to come and be a part of this community. The thing that I didn't realize when I moved, I thought it was going to be all about family, and it still is priority 1, but there's nothing I don't love about it. It is just the best thing. It fits right into my lifestyle. I'm as busy as I want to be. And it's just been a great experience. So for 2 years I've been here, and I discovered Barrel Master about 6 months into my stay here and have loved it.
Mary Lou, I really want to get, well, first of all, you're beautiful. I don't mind missing Dan, but I don't want to miss your video. Can we get you turned on? How do we do that? I wonder if we could flick your video on so we can see, because I know Dan and I want to ask you a few questions while we're seeing if we can get the technical side going. So Mary Lou, so you've got a few things that people generally say they like about Barrel Masters. So one, they like.
Hey, Ben.
Yeah.
I just got a message that popped up that says the host has stopped my video.
Uh-oh, well, you know what? Let's see if I'm going to make you a host and see if that does it.
You can't start your video because the host has stopped it.
Okay, we'll see here.
And Ben, that's the same challenge I'm having.
Okay, well, look, we will not become a meme and let our technical challenges keep us from sharing the information. So thank you for letting me know that, Mary Lou, and thank you, Dan. And sorry, we're not getting your video.
We're missing out a lot because she's probably one of our cutest members that we have.
Oh, I mean, honestly, we're probably just saving you from a bunch of people moving to Trilogy Lake Norman. I mean, we can only handle so many gentlemen.
We can't build homes that fast.
Yeah, it is really. So Mary Lou, okay. So there's a preferred price on ordering if you want to order wine in advance. And there's the menu benefit that you get, you can order anything from the menu for a discounted price. There are the winemaker dinners, there are the showcases, There's just the chance to be around others. Like, what do you like the most about the Barrel Masters program?
Well, you've said a lot. All of those things that you just described, of course, things that I love. But I love the exploration and the discovery of new wines and new pairings. Uh, I I love that they make it easy to order. Generally, at all of the wine dinners, they have an ordering sheet so that as I'm tasting one that I enjoy, I make my notes and I order it up, and that they will call me when it comes in. Nina will help me select and make sure that I get the wine I like. So I love the exploration, the discovery, and the ease that they make everything happen.
So I bet you're not the only one, because we have this super fancy, you can order your wine anytime you'd like online thing, but you just go right to the top, right?
Well, I do that, but remember at the wine dinners, they always have an order form that's right there on my at my elbow. So I just go ahead and order it at the dinners. And then the other thing I love is that I can trust Nina and Centil. I tell them what I like. I tell them what I'm planning on having at a celebration or a family meal, and they make great recommendations. And I always can trust that I'm going to get a good bottle of wine if they've recommended it.
It's so funny, Mary Lou, because I think that a lot of people started, okay, well, I can tell the difference between red and white. And I think red goes with beef and I think white goes with fish. And then everything else is a little bit of like a new experience.
Right.
I'm really glad to hear that. I think that our team does a pretty good job of filling in a lot of those gaps, right? And that's maybe some of the things you've been learning and kind of sharing with others.
Correct. I was really good at picking out a red blend. That's what I had for just about every dinner that I hosted at my home. But now I've become a little bit more sophisticated and even know what a Malbec is.
Oh, look at us. That's fun. Dan, you probably have, we've been fortunate. A lot of our communities have a very popular Barrel Masters program, and we see a lot of people come together. But like in a let's ignore 2020, but in a typical environment, what is kind of a schedule of programming for Barrel Masters that like Mary Lou and her friends would participate in?
Well, our Barrel Masters events have kind of become events that people set their calendar by. Centil and I get together and we put out a calendar for the year where we'll have specialty dinners a couple times a month, and people will make sure that they're not going on vacation and they're in town during those Thursday or Saturday events that we have out there. And we've done all types of wine, champagne, even mixed in a few spirits, blended with what Chef Matt is able to come up with. So our members can look forward to, one or two every month, and then it's supported by bi-weekly wine tastings. We just go out into the foundry with all the members that are there on a bustling Saturday, and people will meet at the wine tasting bar and have a few sips and explore some different things. And if they want a great deal, they can buy some wine right there. So people really do set their calendar by it.
It's funny.
No, I do.
Oh, you go ahead. Sorry about that. I'm looking now. I'm just at another community, Dan. I'm over in Arizona at Verde River, and I'm looking at what they have. It looks like they have a tasting this afternoon, which ought to be fun. And then they have, looks like a Silver Oak dinner. To your point, sold out, right? So it looks like we have Silver Oak coming out with Toomey tomorrow night to do. That's going to be a very nice dinner.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
It's sold out, and they've got the wines listed here. Oh, look at this! Wow, that is going to be beautiful. Yeah, and this is I'm sure you're doing a version of this at your club too, right, Dan?
Right, and I think that it's across the portfolio that these are very, very heavily subscribed events. People really look forward to having them, and they set dates. They go. It's a whole lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun. Yeah,
Well,
when I meet prospective members that are taking a tour of my club, I tell them that if they want the full Trilogy experience in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, they should come to one of our Barrel Masters wine dinners, because it's food, it's great wine, it's a social event, it's everything that we have. It's so much fun. And if you walk home from it, you even get your exercise and wellness. So it's a little bit of everything.
I'm looking at this. Your next one coming up here. You've got that exact kind of idea next week, right? A blend between our Barrel Masters folks and just anyone in the community who wants to join in. They're going to come out next week, it looks like. Or is that this weekend, actually?
Yeah, that's this weekend. And we just had on last Thursday an oyster roast where the chef was outside, over the grill smoking and roasting oysters, and the som was inside, discussing how they chose these certain wines to match and enhance and complement the various flavors of the oyster dinner. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, we have some photos here, which I always enjoy. I love looking at the photos, right? Seeing people kind of get ready, and we've got a combination of the virtual and the the things we've been able to do in person. It's really fun to see it kind of come to life. So I hope that the folks on there, we're doing a good enough job of articulating kind of what the just how special these experiences can be, because they are really neat. Well, Mary Lou and Dan, is there anything, maybe I'll start with Mary Lou. Mary Lou, is there anything, as someone who might be just thinking about Trilogy overall, or, curious about, maybe they are a vinophile and they're, excited about embracing this, is there anything else you'd share?
Well, Dan touched on the Sip and Learn Saturday events, and those are really nice. A lot of times my friends on my street will all walk up to the club, we'll have some new wine, and then a lot of times that even blends into dinner at the club with a discounted bottle of wine. So that they make every day a celebration and a party. It's just a super nice thing.
No, it is really neat to see when it all works right, which often we're blessed, it often does. It's really great to see that come together. Dan, anything before I let them know if they'd like to learn more?
I think that's it. I mean, if you're at a Trilogy, come to a wine dinner, you will fall in love.
Yes, and you are, as guests, a couple things. One, if you want to learn about Barrel Masters, just kind of, hey, I really want to kind of peel the onion on this. It is available at mytrilogylife.com/barrelmasters, where you can learn more, and you can learn about the individual communities you might be considering. We always encourage people to create a guest user account on mytrilogylife.com. So if if you're a person that is exploring the communities and you just want to say, hey, what is it like to be a member here? You can click right here on Request Guest Access and be instantly provided a username and password to get you behind the password wall to see all of the things I was showing earlier. So you pick your community, and then you'd be able to see, okay, well, exactly what events are coming up and exactly what virtual broadcast experiences can I be a part of, and what clubs can I join, for example. Is there a wine club? There's often a culinary group, etc., where you can learn more. So I would encourage people to go on and learn more by visiting mytrilogylife.com. Then, of course, we'd love to have you visit the community you're interested in. I'm going to take a look here, and I've got Cassidy and a couple others on. Looks like I have, a couple questions here that I will answer from the audience. The first one around Barrel Masters, which is what is the cost of joining the Barrel Masters program? So the short answer is it ranges anywhere from kind of the mid $100, like $150 a year, up to the mid $400s a year, based on what you want to do. So for a wine club, that gets you the benefit of the events and the special wine ordering privileges and the opportunity to order off the menu at a preferred price, and preferred access to, Barrel Masters only events, that's on the lower end of that scale. If you want a private locker for you and you alone, where you can store 18 bottles of wine and your name is on it, and you can use that anytime you'd like, that's more in the, and it depends on the club, but the 200 to 300 to 400 range on an annual basis. Generally speaking, people see a lot of value in that. There's a reason they basically sell out everywhere. Most of it is the fact that, again, once your wine is stocked in your locker, you can use it anytime you come to the restaurant. So something you may have purchased with your preferred privileges of, maybe it's on our menu for $44 a bottle or something, you might be serving it out of your own locker for $10 or $12, right? Is what you cost to order it. So a lot of that's the kind of question on the subscription. I am seeing a question on how many are the restaurants private or open to the public? Most of the clubs, it is a mix. Some of the clubs are exclusively for residents in the community and their guests. Most of the restaurants are shared between the residents, members, and when I say residents and members is synonymous. Sorry, I sometimes do that. Once you move into the community, we use the term member as a way to describe people who live within Trilogy, but what I'm speaking about is the homeowners or residents within the communities. Other restaurants are shared between residents, and there is some public access to the restaurant. Now, not all of the events are available to the public. Certainly not all the areas are available to the public, but someone could theoretically come over to the restaurant to enjoy that. And that's how you would be able to do that as you're exploring the communities. I just got another question about what the hours of operation are, the year round, or is it only when it's high season or busy? Well, every one of our restaurants is year round, so I can answer that question really easily. The least amount one of our restaurants is currently open is 4 days a week. That is like a Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. That restaurant is typically open 5 days a week, but they are in a highly constrained environment related to COVID. So if that kind of COVID issue notwithstanding, restaurants are generally open at least 5 days a week, if not in, I don't want to say most because I can't do the thing in my head, but like more frequently than not, they are 6 or 7 days a week in the communities. I also got a question about the ingredients. So this is good. Someone said, do you use organic or local ingredients? As frequently as possible, we try to use certainly local produce, local meats, local seafood. Obviously, we have places where local seafood doesn't work that great, is harder to get. But we do, in fact, we have a site that I'm going to pull up here called, see here, where I can show you every menu from every restaurant. So for example, we just rolled out a new menu last week at one of our communities in Southern California. This is called June Hill's Table. So let's just take a look. Here's their main menu, and let's take a look at their starters to just show you kind of an example of how things might be put together. So we've got a combination of super comfort food, right? Cheesy bread, like that's a really delicious, just fun to share with friends. Probably not a whole lot of caloric value there, but it tastes really freaking good. And let's contrast that with, say, the Vietnamese spring rolls, where in this case, this is, unfried, served chilled, rice paper, shrimp. The mint is sourced locally there. The greens are sourced locally there. On the ahi, our chef has a sushi background at this particular restaurant. He's getting that ahi. He goes down to Orange County on Sundays and buys them from the market there. So we're getting fresh fish. So there are things, if you go down here to our handhelds, we have a Millionaire Burger, well, that's Angus brisket blend. We're sourcing that through a major provider, but where we can, we try to use, more curated ingredients. I love this. Do you have top quality chefs? Where do we find them? And I'm used to golf grill type facilities. Sounds different from that. I hope so. So I really like that question, whoever that was that asked me that, because we try very hard to recruit proper executive chefs. So generally speaking, we're going to get those folks from two kind of related industries. One would be like, say, a major resort where they have multiple food and beverage outlets, and what our value proposition to that chef, because that chef, probably is in an environment where they're doing higher volume and maybe, it sounds fancier on a resume. But what they get from us is, generally speaking, an opportunity to be closer to their customers. We have the same, even in our larger communities, it's often the same people very frequently. So you build this, ongoing relationship with your customer. And furthermore, our latest restaurants are open until 10 p.m. ish. Whereas, if you're working in a resort or a hotel or even a traditional restaurant in a downtown environment, you may not get home to your family until 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. We can make sure that our chefs are getting home at 10:30, 11 p.m. at the latest, which as they progress in their career, that has more and more value. And it's honestly let us get talent beyond probably what we might have even initially anticipated. Like when we have an executive chef role, we just did, for example, at one of our restaurants, we get a lot of really, really good resumes. Which we've been very fortunate, and we have turnover here and there, just like anybody does. We operate 20 restaurants. We're going to have change, but generally speaking, we've been able to hire the right people, and they get really passionate about it, and we pay well. That helps too. What else am I seeing here? Ben, I hear Dan is extremely handsome. Question from Dan. Okay, sorry, we don't need to answer that one, folks. Okay. Well, everyone, I really appreciate you taking the time to be a part of this. We would love for you to really seriously explore considering Trilogy as home. I've personally been blessed to be a part of the team for 2 decades now, and to see the experience that people have and how much of an impact it has. Our members really make what we do work. Mary Lou isn't having a great experience because she lives at Trilogy. Trilogy is a better place because we have Mary Lou living there. And you just combine that over the course of all the communities, and you get this really natural, positive, kind, caring, social environment that is worth the effort. I mean, look, if you're balancing, well, I don't know if I want to move, or I don't know about this, or I don't know about that, like, I would encourage you to strongly consider breaking through those barriers and giving it a real try. It's a really powerful experience when people come and move in the communities. So I hope you all take the chance to do that, and I hope you all book a community tour. And I will stop kind of preaching now, but I hope people take the time to really seriously consider the experience and whether Trilogy could feel like the right home for you. So with that, I will confirm one last time with my partners, Cassidy, Chelsea, etc. Are we okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. I will take that. So thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your time and attention, and please come out soon and see us. And we look forward to having you live in our communities, I hope. Take care. Bye-bye.